Okay, today's lesson is on reflections. This is lesson 2.3 in your textbook. Here's our new vocabulary. We all know that a reflection, or what we call a flip, is a transformation in which a figure is reflected in a line called the line of reflection. A reflection creates a mirror image of the original figure. Reflections in the coordinate plane. To reflect a figure in the x-axis, take the opposite of the y-coordinate. To reflect a figure in the y-axis, take the opposite of the x-coordinate. So I want you to take a minute right now and copy down and write this into your notes and try to think about this, the notations. So here's like your definition of what a reflection looks like mathematically. Okay? And to take the opposite of a coordinate is simply to multiply it by a -1. Always know that in a reflection, the original figure and its image are congruent. They're still the same in every way. So let's tell whether the blue figure is a reflection of the red figure. And we're going to explain our answer. So for number 1, no. Let's get off the highlighter for a sec. No, it is not a reflection. It is a translation. So we're building our vocabulary of how we can describe these transformations. 2, is this a reflection? No, it is also a translation. How about 3? Yes, the red figure can be flipped to form the blue figure. So now let's do some of these reflections. So this example, I'm going to go ahead and graph the original in red. So we have A is equal to -4, -3. Hold on. Okay. Then B is equal to -4, -1. Try that again. It's really hard to get this on this very tiny coordinate plane. Okay. C is -1, -1. And D is -1, -3. Okay. So I have a rectangle. I'm going to draw the reflection in the x-axis. And remember that if we're reflecting in the x-axis, we're taking the y-coordinate times -1. So I do want you to write the math down. So if you want to organize it like this, original to your image, and I'll go ahead and specify x comma y is going to x comma and the opposite of y. So if we have, I'll start over here, -4, -3 for A, B is -4, -1, C is -1, -1, and D -1, -3, we're going to be multiplying the y-coordinate by -1. So times -1 times -1 times -1 times -1, so that A prime would be -4, 3, B prime would be negative 4 comma 1. C prime is negative 4 comma 1. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong coordinate for x. So it's going to be negative 1 comma 1. Apologize for that. And D prime is 1 comma 3. So let's graph the image. Okay. So A prime is negative 4, 3. B prime is negative 4, 1. C prime is negative 1, 1. And D prime is negative 1, 3. And I apologize that on this computer it's kind of hard to get it exact. Okay, so again, since I'm using different colors, I didn't label the coordinates, but you will be definitely doing this in pencil and labeling each one with the letter and the vertice. Let me go ahead and do that. So A prime, C prime, B prime. And the reason it's important to see the labels too, D prime, so let me switch colors back to red so we can get our originals up here, is you can see, you know, that the two B's should be closer to each other on this reflection. C and D. Okay, so it's important to label and label your prime notation. Now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do it in the y-axis. So go ahead and on your paper, you might want to get some graph paper. I don't have the pre-made graphs for homework, so you want to get some graph paper to do this on. We'll start with the original. So we know that A is negative 4, negative 3, B, C, and D. So okay, so when we want to do the image for this one, since we're using the original the same, our image will be negative x comma y, because in this case it's going to be the opposite of the x, so it's going to be on the other side of the y-axis. So in this case, with our image, A prime would be negative 4 times negative 1, which will be a positive 4, and we leave that as a negative 3 from the original. So remember, I'm going back to my original. B prime would be negative 4 times a negative 1, which is a 4, and keep the y. C prime would be negative 1 times negative 1, and keep the y. And in D prime, I get 1 times a negative 1, either I erased it or didn't originally write it. What did I do here? So I apologize, and hopefully throughout the lesson we have already caught this. It's graphed correctly in part A, so just be very careful with your notation. I know I'm kind of going a little quick here on the video. So D prime is going to be negative 1 times negative 1, so it'll be a positive 1. And then keep, well, all right, let's give this a try. So A is 4, negative 3. B prime is 4, negative 1. C prime is 1, negative 1. And D prime is 1, negative 3. Again, you want to connect the dots and label. And then always check your work to make sure you're not making any silly little mistakes. Are the images in parts A and B congruent? And if you recall that the reflection does not change the size, so yes, they are all congruent, they are all rectangles, and they are all the same size and shape.